This video is a record of some of the walks we have undertaken in the Peak District between Manchester and Sheffield. We are, from left to right, Charlie the dog, Dawn, Jim and Norma. We stayed in a cottage at Shatton Hall Farm. And here's the cottage where we stayed, and the farm. To the north of it is the Ladybower Reservoir, and to the northwest is Kinder Scout. These three form a triangle around the Vale of Edale, on which our walks are centred. The first one started at Hope and climbed to Win Hill. The second was from Castleton and over Mam Tor. The third, from Barber Booth, was over the Lord's Seat, and the fourth, from Derwent Dam, climbed Derwent Edge and skirted the reservoirs. The fifth, from Edale, climbed up to Kinder Scout and back via Jacob's Ladder. Videos of these 5 walks will follow, but you can jump to a particular one using the contents list in the video description below. We took a short walk on our first day. We started at Hope, took the lane past the cemetery to the path up to Win Hill, walk a little way along the ridge before descending to Aston and the road back to Hope. We used the car park near Hope Church, take the Edale Road out of the village, and then follow Bowden Lane under the rail bridge. Charlie the dog, who has walked the southwest coast path with Dawn, is now old and blind, but still finds his way. The track to Twitchell Farm gives way to a path. A drink stop looking southwest towards Castleton. We continue climbing and Charlie follows at his own pace. The ridge to Win Hill with Ladybower Reservoir and Derwent Moor in the background. Lunch stop.
Right, you can have a bit of my roll.
And Charlie wants some extra. Lunch is over, and we head east before taking the path beside the fence and wall downhill. The path with views of the reservoir. I marvel at how Charlie, who's now sightless, navigates the steps and path using his other senses. Showers on the descent to Aston. No dog slot for Charlie here. Aston and the road to Hope. The final section of footpath and the main road into Hope. Back to the car park, and Charlie takes a rainwater drink before we leave for Shatton Farm. On our second day, we walked a circuit from Castleton to Mam Tor, followed by a visit to the Blue John Cavern. We took the path from Castleton to Edale and along the limestone way. We turned west, then north, for the climb up to Mam Tor, which followed the ridge to Hollin's Cross, before descending southeast back to Castleton. After lunch, we visited the Blue John Cavern. Castleton and the path leading to Edale. Edale and its steeply rising sides. Peveril Castle is above us. And looking back, we see its walls and keep. Charlie picks his way through the rocks. Soon, we're in the open. We continue west and turn north at this stile. Charlie gets a lift over. As we reach the crest, Mam Tor comes into view. We see a paraglider as we approach the road pass, and another flyer ahead carrying his kit uphill. It's a short, energetic climb up to the top.
Good place.
Soon, we reach the trig point. And stop for a snack. A little further on is the Paraglider Club meeting. The flyers prepare their wings, line up with the wind, and with a few steps are in the air. As we sit, one after another take off. By the time we set off again, the sky's full of paragliders. It's a great sight as they soar over the Hope and Edale valleys. We leave them behind and soon reach our path down to Castleton. Looking back as we approach Castleton, we see more and more paragliders fill the air above the Mam Tor ridge. The entrance to the Blue John Cavern. We begin our climb down and come to an area displaying some of the old mining tools that were used by the 19th century miners. This is just the beginning of our descent, and it's a long way to the bottom. We continue down, looking back up. The Ladies' Walk and a cavern beyond it. The Waterfall Cavern. There are fossil sea creatures in its walls, stalactites on the roof. Further down, and a balancing 20-ton rock, Lord Mulgrove's dining room. And finally, some Blue John deposits. We're now faced with the return climb over 200 steps back to the surface and the end of our visit. The third walk is a 9-kilometre loop from Barber Booth. We climb up to the ridge via the Chapelgate track follow the ridge over Lord's Seat to the road below Mam Tor, take the path north and then west to the road past Barber Booth to our start point. Our parking place and the road to Barber Booth. 100 metres past the rail bridge, we take this path south and begin our climb to the ridge ahead. The Duke of Edinburgh's award party temporarily confused Charlie, but he's soon back in his stride. Chapelgate's track. The view as we approach the ridge. Charlie's getting confused again. A group shot at the Lord's Seat. And then we continue towards Mam Tor. We've left the ridge and are heading north. And now west towards Barber Booth. Livestock, so Charlie's back on his lead. Down to the footbridge and up again onto the road past Barber Booth, the rail bridge, and we're back to the car park. Our fourth walk was a 15-kilometre circuit over Derwent Edge. We began at the Fairholme National Park Centre, walked along the Derwent Reservoir, climbed up to Back Tor, walked along Derwent Edge, descended to the Ladybower Reservoir and followed the road along its banks back to our start point. Ducks and hailstones meet us as we arrive at Fairholme at the start of our walk. We take the path north to the Derwent Dam. Sadly, Charlie's no longer with us. We climb up beside the dam to the footpath along the east side of the Derwent Reservoir. It's a pleasant walk along the reservoir. After about 2 kilometres, we come to this sign and take the path uphill. It's a steady climb. The road over Ladybower and views west and north to Howden Moor. Lost Lad Stones ahead. It's a magnificent panorama over the high peaks. And just ahead is Back Tor. Time for a break. Derwent Edge. We continue southward. The Wheelstones. We begin to descend, and at a junction we turn right and follow the path down to the trees. And then on to the water's edge and the road. It's a gentle walk along the edge of Ladybower, past fields with sheep, their lambs, and the odd pheasant. The road swings south as it approaches the Derwent Dam. And we take the path from it back to Fairholmes, where the ducks are still searching amongst visitors for scraps to come their way. This walk is a 13-kilometre circuit from Edale onto the edge of Kinder Scout and back. We go north from Edale up Grinsbrook Clough, along the southern edge of Kinder Scout, and then follow the Pennine Way down Jacob's Ladder and back to Edale. The sun was shining as we left Edale car park and headed north past the village towards Grindslow House. We take the path by the gate, cross Grindsbrook, and follow the path north to the east side of it. The valley ahead. Looking back, Grindsbrook Clough narrows as we climb. And the path becomes more rocky.
Sorry?
The water tumbles down a staircase of rocks. The final rocky section to the top, and we stop briefly before climbing to the top. We're up, and it starts snowing, but it's a chance to admire the view. Wind sculpted gritstone. Another stream to cross. More rocks ahead, sculpted into fantastic shapes. Kinder Scout, Kinder Low, and our way down. We join the Pennine Way and begin our descent towards Jacob's Ladder. We take the gentler loop rather than the steep section, and then follow the Pennine Way along the north side of River Noe. We're down in the valley, but have one final climb around Broadley Bank. The Vale of Edale and the surrounding hills look lovely in the spring sunshine. The final kilometre of the Pennine Way. The end of the path and the road south to Edale village. The car park just beyond the railway. And the end of the walk.
Here we are, back at the car.